Hey everybody, it's Erin and we're going to make a fun jar. So you guys know I love to etch, and I have shown you this particular little jar which I just went and got all squeaky clean, and I don't even know what it came from. It came from something. I think it came from a salsa jar? I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, I keep a lot of jars. I have a stash of jars. I have kind of a jar collection problem, but that's okay. I use them. That's what matters. Okay, so I have a craft glue, which I love my Helmar glue. But one of the things about the glue when you're using it is that it's best to keep it upside down. The reason for that is because you don't want to get all the air getting into it as much. So if you're constantly going this way and this way, you're causing the glue to move and you're getting more air built into it, and then it won't flow as easily. The other thing about keeping it upside down is that when you open it up to use it, it's ready to go. So this is going to become my glue jar, which means I have a little bit more life. A couple of the glues, I didn't do this before. I ended up wasting about the bottom of the glue, and I don't want to do that. So for now, I got to keep it upright because I'm storing it over here. And when you store it before you open it the first time, it's fine to have it be upright, but as soon as you start using it, you pop it in. All right, so the first step I'm going to do is there is this resist paper. It's basically kind of like a vinyl, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch a bunch of flowers out of it because I thought I'd make this a pretty flowery. We're not just going to etch it. We're going to decorate this thing up. But this thing's going to sit on my desk and be all kinds of cool. I want it to look pretty. I want to look at something pretty and not look at something kind of grubby and not just a plain jar. How pretty is that? I like to have things on my desk, on my scrap desk, on my craft desk, whatever you want to call it, by my computer desk that are pretty. They're inspiring. So why not make the things I stare at every day, like my jar with my glue in it, pretty and inspiring? It looks better. I'm going to see if this is enough. All right, so I'm just going to randomly place these little flowers all around here. Just make it really kind of fun. And wherever the flower is where the etching cream is not going to be. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off, this is a vinyl, pull this off just like this, and then start placing them. I think I'm going to have a few kind of come up over the edge of this lip just to be kind of fun. And then really get in here and rub, because if there's an air bubble or if there's a little pocket, when I put the etching cream on, the etching cream is going to get underneath there. So I really want to make sure that I have it completely flat. I'm not going to do a straight line. This is going to be a random placement of a bunch of little flowers that are going on here. It's just kind of placing them on there, just like this. Just like that. So go up high again. I'm kind of going high, low, so I'm going to do the next one a little bit different. Tiny bit different. Oh, so I have to tell you a cute little story while I'm doing this. I'm going to do this one a little different and then show you. I'm going to cut it in half because I want to have a half flower. So I'm just going to purely slice in half. All right, so while I undo this one. So a lot of you guys have been commenting about my daughter. And over the Christmas break, I was able to get a lot of videos of her coming in and helping me because she was home with me. And during the school year, it's kind of hard because she's in school. So see what I mean about the half flower? I can have it just kind of poking out, which is kind of fun. It's a little something different. Still coming in and rubbing it clean. Like that. And then I can take my other half flower and maybe I can have it coming up from up here. So I told her all the amazing comments you guys have been talking to me, and her smile, it's hilarious, was ear to ear. It was pretty funny. And I'll try and do some videos on the weekends. Weekends around here be pretty crazy, with kids. If anybody's got kids, you've got basketball practice, you've got scouts, you've got this, you've got that. It never seems to end. I'm going to place, actually, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to stick this on my hand because I want to place another flower before I don't want to put it in the wrong spot and then I have overlapping. So I'm going to have to punch some more flowers. So I tend not to do as many videos, this one in the center, on the weekends just because we're busy and it's crazy and I just run out of time and, life happens. Okay, so now I can place this guy up here. And I'm going to do it a little further apart. Come in and then just rub it down. There we go. Just like that. And I think I can fit one more. Let's see how one more looks. But I will try and get her in a video. I think the bottom, all of that rigmarole that I was just telling you guys, the bottom line is I will try and get her in some more videos because she does love to do them. She thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. I've asked my sons, and they have occasionally in the past. You can find some older videos of mine that have them in there, and they will come in and help. They think the fact that I do YouTube is fantastic, but it's funny. They're not always wanting to. They'd rather watch than be in one, whereas Catherine would rather be in one. She does watch a few. She likes the makeup ones, go figure. She'll watch some of the crafty ones, but they don't tend to watch my videos. I think they hear enough of mom talking as it is. Go figure. All right, so rubbing it in. I am a little short, so I think I'm going to add a little one in there. I don't know, I feel like it needs something there too. So I'm going to punch another one, but maybe I'll cut it in half. So as always, for the most of the supplies that I can find, I'm going to cut this guy in half again. I will put the links down below. Just click the little more section. It's down, you're going to see in the description box, and it says click here, you know, for more information, click here kind of thing. So do that, and you can find the links for all this cool stuff that I'm using for as much of it as I can find. Ooh, let's do a flower that's a little off center. Why not? Really rub it down in. And I need something there. I don't want to I've already rubbed all these in. I don't want to undo them, otherwise I'm going to lose. It's kind of cool just with the yellow one there, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so let me think. I'll do 2 petals. It's just a little bit off. I may have spaced them a little too close together or a little too far apart, and that's okay. It'll be the back of my jar. Nobody will notice. And you know what? I actually did it with the back seam, so it will be the back of my jar because I don't want to stare at the seam. I want to look at the pretty front. But, you know, the jar might get moved around, so that looks kind of cool. It's a little different. I didn't want to put 2 matchy next to each other. Look, on one sheet, I still have a ton left. Notice I kept really close to the edge. I try to get the punches really close together, and I still have space, which is kind of fun. The next step is I'm going to use my etching cream. Now, when you put the etching cream on, you want to be very generous with it, and you want to make sure that you have enough so that you're coating the whole thing. This stuff is reusable. I'm getting to the end of my jar. Every jar is going to be a little different depending on how much it's being used. It can get everything from a clear color, not clear, but like a beigey color, all the way down to kind of like a licorice color. You can have it be that dark. I'm not going to worry about getting all the way up into this lip because I'm going to decorate up there. So I'm coming in with my little, you guys hear my story. So the lady who owns this company, she's so sweet. Her name is Barbie. She sent me this little dauber thingy because she saw me using it. It came from a sample kit because it was an easy way to get it out of that jar. She doesn't use this. She and other people don't use this, but I've had it since I got that sample kit, and I thought it was the best way to get in the jar, get all the cream out, and apply. I thought it was just the perfect thing. So I'm going to keep applying this all the way around and see how super generous. If there's a gap, it's not going to etch. I do not need to worry about getting on top of the yellow, but I do want to get in all the nooks and crannies between the flowers, meaning like between the petals. I don't want to leave that, otherwise it's not going to look like a flower. So I'm giving it, make sure there's a ton on everywhere, and then it has to sit for 15 minutes. So I'm going to keep on applying all the cream all the way around, getting it well coated all the way to the bottom. And not see how that's really thin. I really need to apply more. I'm going to have just enough left in my jar. And the cool thing is this stuff is reusable. So when I'm done, you're going to see me, we're going to come back and we're going to put all of it back in the jar because I can use it again. So one jar does last you quite a long time. All right, so I'm going to finish this up and we'll be back in a sec. All right, so just to show you, here it is coated. I still haven't used all that's in here. And now we're going to let it sit for 15 minutes. Okay, so I've let this sit for 15 minutes and a little bit longer actually, probably closer to 20. But as long as you do at least 15, you're good. If you go a little longer, not a problem. You then take this little squeegee thing. I love it. You could use something else, but I think the squeegee is perfect. And you start pulling off all the etching liquid, just like you see here. Start pulling it off. Just like this. So I'm going to keep on going all the way around, getting all that, because this is all reusable. Just squeegeeing it off and getting it back inside my jar for the next time I want to use it. So now what I'm going to do, I've gotten all that off, is I'm going to take this over to my sink and make sure when you do rinse this off, you do this in a space that's not going to have porcelain, because the etching cream also etches porcelain, not just glass, which is kind of cool because you got some really cool projects in porcelain. So I've got a stainless steel sink and I'm just going to rinse this off, get all the stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll remove all the flowers. All right, I've got my little trash bowl here and I just went and cleaned everything off. I do need to do a little more cleaning, but let's start pulling off the flower. It's really quite simple. So you just pull them off. Just have a quick little trash bin. Getting my inspiration from Rachel Ray. about having a little trash can. I do have one down below me, but it's getting a little full. And I like using this specifically, this container, for my etching. So that way it doesn't get on things that I don't need it to. So it's pulling off. You can already start seeing the difference. It's really quite cool. So continuing to pull it off. I love it because it definitely has a different look than just a plain jar. I mean, you could take a jar and you could decorate it up, but adding that little bit of etching just makes it all that much more pretty. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to keep on pulling this off, and then we're going to decorate it. So I'm just rubbing up and just kind of cleaning with a paper towel. Now that it's pretty much dry, I've got the rest of the masking tape off, or the vinyl etching, whatever you want to call it. And look how pretty, isn't that gorgeous already? Love it. Now we're going to decorate it. So I found a really pretty flower set, and I found these 2 flowers. And I'm in this kind of greeny vibe. I love teal. I love kind of that green and blue, that teal feel, the aqua. And I've had this mesh stuff forever. So I just caught a little small section. We're going to use the glue, and I'm just going to line the rim of the glue going around. So a little bit going all the way around. And unfortunately, since I'm working in my glue jar, I can't put it back in here. It's because I'm adding things to it. And I'm just going to go as round as many times as I can, kind of keeping in that lip. I'm going to have to add a little bit of glue right here. I have more, but I think this is enough because we're not doing just this. We're going to add some more to this. I want to make sure I'm not getting it up on the rim. I thought I would add some extra layers of some twine. Just for another, it's a pop of a brighter color. It still hits that same kind of tone. I'm going to find that back seam, and I'm just going to wrap it. You're just going to see little pieces of it. You're not going to see a ton, and I'm just wrapping. And since I did almost the perfect amount, I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot on the back. So I definitely have a favorite color. I mean, I'll make crafts with other colors, but do you guys have a favorite color? Do you have like a go-to crafty color that you love to make with? Sometimes I will say it will change sometimes. Sometimes I want to do, my fingers are a little sticky from the glue, so I'm having a hard time here. I will say sometimes I'll pick out different colors depending on the season. Like right now, I'm not really into greens and reds because it's past Christmas, and I'm not really into too much of the autumn colors like oranges. As I get seasonal, I'm seriously having a hard time with this knot. It's because my string is just that much too small. Where there's a will, there's a way. So right now I'm kind of, I guess, more into winter colors like ice. So this to me, like the silver and the teal, you know, it's kind of like an ice blue, but it definitely is a year-round feel. Do you go seasonally, or do you always have a favorite go-to kind of a crafty color that you like? Haha, I did it. And I'm going to glue that down because that was not a very tight knot. And then I'm going to snip off these little edges because I don't need them. Into my trash can they will go. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, put this right on the back there, and I'm going to measure all the way around. Like I said, that little bit of teal that I popped around the edge, you're just going to see a hint of it. It's just adding to that mesh that was there. So it's just a little bit more than what was already there before. And then I'm going to cut off right, look, there's enough glue already holding part of that on. Right there, it had enough glue because I put it on for the knot. And I'm going to add a little bit more of a bead of glue going all the way around. Have it end in the back, and then attach these on. And it doesn't matter which direction. I just think they're so cool. They're plastic, so you can, as you can tell, I can just trim it. It's not a metal, even though it looks kind of metallic. It's a faceted plastic, and they're so fun. I've used something similar to this before, but it was a big sheet. This is the first time. Oh no, it's folded over. Thought I didn't misjudge that. I can also, because if you notice, you can put them far apart, or you can kind of push them together because they're on a string. I can make this fit by kind of squishing the last few kind of closer together. So that way it'll fit a little bit better. I feel like it's a little loose. I think it needs a tiny bit more glue right here. There we go. See, and this feels a little loose too. Like there wasn't glue. Maybe I missed, you know, a little section. So pretty, I love it already. Now I want to add in my little pretty flowers kind of here in the corner. just a little something right there. Just really simple, nothing too difficult. Just pop them in. Where's my front? Oh, so I'm on the back right now. So let's go on the front. Here's my front, and I'm going to add one right here, just like that. And I'm going to tuck the other one in. I'm going to put it right there. So just a little pair. I'm thinking I want to get some leaves. I don't want these to slip, so I'm going to actually secure my jar with my 2 punches so it doesn't roll on me. And this doesn't take long to dry. This is a very, very fast drying glue, but I don't want them to slip and slide on me. So I'm just going to pop them there just like that. Let them dry. I'm going to go find some leaves. All right, I will do this a lot. I will take things and I will just kind of lay them there even though they're not glued in, just to see if I like it. And I like it. So I've got a couple of leaves that I've pulled from, no, this doesn't have the date on it, I don't think, but I got these from Michael's ages ago. I actually used to work at Michael's a long time ago. I was their crafty person, their scrapbook paper craft artist, not artist, their teacher. And so I was able to get store credit. I got a whole bunch of really good discounts. Sometimes they would pull product and be like, do you want to take it home? That was kind of cool. So these were left over from when I worked there. I worked there before I had my daughter. My daughter's 5. So it tells you how long I've had those. Some of these flowers I've had for ages. This trim and stuff, these little trims and things I've had for at least 3 years. And I hadn't even used the meshy trim that I first put down. That was the first time I had used that. So I'm trying to use up my stash of things. I'm trying to be a little frugal in my buying and pulling out things that are not just the latest and greatest, but they're still amazing. I mean, look how pretty these things are. How did I not use them? And it definitely is having a frosty look. Like this is from a snow. So I guess my color thing is coming from the fact that I like things snowish right now. I like it cold. I'm being very careful not to go above the lip because I don't want to hit. And the only part of the jar that's going to get a little mucky as I'm using it is going to be the inside. So why can't the outside be pretty? And it just adds a little something. Oh, I need to drop this guy down. And I am going to put a little bit of glue right here so this flower sits a little bit tighter to the leaves, just like that. And there it is, just something kind of pretty, cute. I can have it center and be dead on like this. I can have it on an angle and kind of see the flowers. I think I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. I just don't want these to get knocked off as I'm going in and out of the jar quite a bit. So I really want to secure them and not be loose and only have 1 point of glue contact, which is why usually I just put it in the center and it's good, but this jar is going to be working. It's a functional jar. Pretty but functional jar. So I'm gonna really make sure that these are on here tight. And there they go. Now they are. So now that's what I do with my glue. It just sits in here and it's a pretty little glue jar. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm gonna go ahead and close up my glue for now. And there it is. It just functions just like that. How simple and easy is that? So pretty. I love the etching on there. It looks so gorgeous. It's plain on the back. If I don't feel like looking at flowers that day, I can flip it over. But it has kind of a neat little appearance. I guess very frosty, but some of my favorite color. So there you go. So thanks so much for stopping by and checking out my cool etched, flower etched, using my punch, simple, jar that I'm going to use as my glue holder because it's the perfect size, the perfect height. I kind of went through and I checked a whole bunch of different jars to see what would be the perfect one, and this one was absolutely perfect. So if you're looking for a jar to use with your glues, so that way you don't get the air in them, look for one that hits right about what would you call it, about 2 inches from the top. So if you've got a smaller bottle, you're going to need a smaller jar, not such a high jar. If you have too short of a jar, the jar is going to get wobbly and it's going to fall over. So this is a good height for this. So thanks so much for stopping by, and please subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.